ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोर्न वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतो पंगो मौ मंदमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदर मोहनौ दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद् राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भे वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथश्रियस्तु नः। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Now the second story is about the story of tactical decision, and also this is a story of great valor, and it is the story of killing of Jarasandha. We are going to hear the killing of Jarasandha, second story. As usual, the Krishna's pastimes are unlimited and also very expansive, and each and every pastime, if you go and dwell and contemplate, that expands thousands of times, and you will be completely drowned into that. So this is a story of Jarasandha, how it happened, and how Krishna manifested. During this process, how Krishna manifested his unlimited opulence. He took an opportunity because Dwaraka is inaccessible. Dwaraka city was inaccessible to the common people because it was away from the mainland. How a common man can go there? So, and how a common man can conceive inside what is happening. So that's why Krishna took an opportunity to show what is opulence, because the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan means Aishwarya Samagrasya. They should be full of, the opulence should be unlimited, and the beauty should be unlimited, and his strength should be unlimited, and his fame should be unlimited, and his knowledge should be unlimited, and his detachment, renunciation also should be unlimited. So the Krishna performs and demonstrated, especially during the event or the event which is taking towards the Jarasandha. He has demonstrated to the whole universe what his opulence is. So we can see how mystically he performed everything. We heard that in one of the stories that Krishna married 16,108 queens, the princes, and they all became very faithful to Krishna. and they are called Mahishis, and they start enjoying it. So he has given 16,108 palaces, apart from the other thousands and other thousands of other palaces. So Narada Muni once thought, how, yes, I came to know Krishna married to 16,108, but how he is doing? So he got some thought. It is basically to show that through that process he wanted to show whole world what Krishna used to do. So when Narada Muni went, he went first to Rukmini, because Rukmini is the Patrani. So when that in that everybody is so busy, when he entered, and Krishna was sitting on a beautiful Hamsatulika Talpa. So it was like a big, very big bed which is made with wonderful. Krishna was sitting and is taking services of Rukmini. So many people are there. And when Narada Muni entered, Krishna, he was very, very happy to see Narada. He invited him, made him to sit on the same bed where he was sitting. He came down and started worshipping him. Many things, lot of discussion took place. And finally he said, everything is okay, everything is fine. Then he expressed lot of loving exchanges. Finally, okay, now I am going. So he came. He went into second house. When he went to second house, Krishna was playing chess. The Uddhavji is there, Uddhava, and wife is out there, they're playing chess. So Krishna said, very nice to see you. So he was stunned. Just now he saw there, whether the same Krishna is there, whether he knows whether I have come there, but whether he knows he's going to speak. So he was confused. But Krishna behaved as if he doesn't know, he is coming first time. So that is opulence. Come on, he talked about and little bit discussed, and he also again worshipped everything. Just now you worshipped. He did not say, but he felt. But again, for him is first time. He did and went. And third time, third place he went, and he used to somewhere, and he went there, he saw something Krishna is doing. Naradaji, so he has just, without talking, he went out. Because already he has seen first, second, third, fourth, and he is playing with somebody, with children. Some place he is doing Gayatri, Japa, and some place he is doing Yajna. Somewhere he is worshipping the cows, and somebody, like that everywhere. Then Narada Muni felt that, this is called great opulence. Great opulence. And another great opulence is that comes in the next story. So in this way, Krishna really used to have different activities, different enjoyment at different places, depending on the taste and mood of the wife, children, surroundings, so many things. But when he wakes up, he has the same activities, and when he comes out, because he is not just leading that life, not that he has his purpose is dharma samsthapanarthaya. So that's why he has a sabha called Sudharma. So every day morning he used to go to Sudharma Sabha, sit down, Ugrasena and so many great saintly the kings, they used to come and sit, what to do next, like that about the protection of the world, discussion. So it's like going to office. We can put it like office. So Krishna used to stay in the 16,108 houses. When everything is over, and he used to come out from 16,108 forms. But the moment he comes out, he merges to one and enters into Sudharma Sabha. It's not that 16,000 forms are going and the entire hall is filled with only Krishna. No. That is only for the sake of all the 16,108. But ultimately it's only same Krishna. But he is behaving as per the mood, as per the requirement, as per the taste, as per the context. But the moment he is coming out of the different houses every day morning after finishing everything, going to his Sudharma Sabha, by the time he comes out and entering, merges all 16,000 into one person and going into Sudharma Sabha. And again In the evening, when he was coming out from Sudharma Sabha, all activities are again dividing and going to 16,000. Just can you imagine? That is called mystical power of Krishna. That is called Aishwarya. That is Yash. That is his strength. So one of the days so happened that from all 16,808 houses, he came out and merged and entered into Sudharma Sabha. Everybody was sitting. As we discussed in one of the first time, the moment he enters, the Vidushaka used to come first jokes. He would play nice jokes, some like that. Every happy. Krishna used to have very, very happy time every day, every minute, every moment. So when everybody sat down, immediately one person came, one messenger came, Duta. Duta came and he entered and requested that I have come from a place, from the Magadha Rajya I came. So there is a petition by hundreds of kings. They have sent a message. So Krishna said, okay, what is that message? Please read out. So that new person started speaking out on behalf of kings who are all captured by Jarasandha. So they said that Krishna, actually he was reading from the Hey Krishna, we are all captured by this powerful Jarasandha, and like a lion captures a herd of the goats, we are all captured. And we are being haunted by our karma. Now our karma phala has in the form of the Jarasandha, and we are facing this unlimited miseries because of Jarasandha. Please come and protect us. And we are sure that except you, nobody is there in this world to save us. In this way they expressed. When the Duta, the messenger, read this, all the Yadavas became very furious. Oh really? Jarasandha has become so much arrogant and he has become so inhuman. So let us go attack and defeat him and release all the kings. They all became. And when they were talking like this, immediately Narada Muni came. Oh, when Narada Muni came, Krishna became very happy and invited him, gave him a good place to sit and started asking wonderful questions. Oh Narada Muni, so you must be always, you are busy in going to different places, you know what's happening in the world. So can you please tell me what Pandavas are doing? Because Krishna is always interested in his friends, in his relatives or his devotees. So first asked, okay, you have any information, Pandavas, what they are doing and what they want to do? And please, I am eager to know. Though Krishna knows everything, but he was like to know. Then Narada Muni said, my dear Lord, you know things, but since you are acting as a human being, since you asked, it is my responsibility. I cannot tell, no, you know. I cannot say, you know. I'll tell. Dharmaraj, Yudhishthira Maharaj wants to really perform one Rajasuya yajna. His interest is so that he can rule the entire universe. He wants to demonstrate that. And in this process also, he wants to worship. And he wants to show the whole, because he is going to invite the great demigods, he is going to invite rishis, he is going to various kings, and in front of all of them, he wants to show that you are the Supreme Personality. That's his intention. So he is expecting that you would come along with your entourage. That is his desire. All the Yadavas did not like Narada Muni's proposal. Hare, why this person came? We have just now decided to go on a war, and he is asking Krishna to go to Hastinapur. So they did not like. They said, no, this is not a good proposal. Then, so one side, the messenger came, he is inviting, there is a big problem, and Narada Muni is saying, your devotees are trying to do yajna, please come here. and people got divided. Then Krishna looked at Uddhava. Okay, what is your opinion? Can you advise? Then he looked at. So Uddhava is a disciple of Brihaspati, is a very intelligent. He said that in my opinion, you should go to Hastinapur for the Rajasuya Yajna. Because in Rajasuya Yajna means if somebody wants to do that, to establish his sovereignty on all, he has to really defeat all the kings. In that process, the Jarasandha also has to be dealt with. And mind one thing, that Jarasandha cannot be killed by, even if you take a very big army also, even if you take 10,000, because he is having 10,000 elephants power, and even if you take 100 Akshauhini also, you cannot really kill, because he is not meant to be killed in the war. He is meant to be killed only by Dvandva Yuddha. Only one to one, even in a fight, he is going to kill. That is his power. So there is no point in going with army. So you can only Bhima is perfect opponent or right person for him. So you somehow go there, beg for the fight, and in that Bhima. So in that way, the Jarasandha killing also takes place, and the Rajasuya Yajna also takes place. In that way, the Uddhava has given. Oh, everybody clapped. Oh, beautiful, good idea. Very nice. So everybody have given big claps, and Krishna also liked it. Very nice. So he has saved. So always it is very good that if you have a wonderful companion like that, advising person, taking care of, that is a wonderful life. So then Krishna immediately arranged for entire 16,108 queens and their children and their servants, etc., everything, to move from Dwaraka to Hastinapur. That is, at that time, of course, they are not in Hastinapur, they are in Indraprastha. So the Shukadeva Goswami narrated that it is just like the ocean. If you take a drone picture, it's like an ocean is moving. And Krishna wanted to show that an ordinary man, common man, cannot come to Dwaraka and see my opulence. Let me go and show what it is meant by me, what it is meant by opulence of a great personality of God. He wants to show the world that if God comes, Swayam Bhagavan if he comes, what type of opulence he would demonstrate. He wanted to show, he wanted to put a benchmark. So that benchmark nobody can touch, nobody can change that. Nobody can break that record. So all the 16,108 palanquins, and for their children different palanquins, and for their servants, because if every queen is having own servants, like that. So all it just went in a big like ocean, started moving from one corner and Krishna wanted to show the whole world. He was moving to Anartha, Sauvira, Maru, Desha, Vinashana. With all the kingdoms he was passing, and everybody was turning to see, wow, what is Supreme Personality? Because they never heard of, they never saw. So they were. Of course, Krishna in the future also would show what is his other opulence. In other stories we'll hear. But here he has shown what is his material opulence. Actually, there is no material for him, spiritual opulence. But people are able, if I show my devotional opulence, common man cannot understand. Suppose if I show a lot of love for Krishna, people cannot understand. 99% people cannot understand. But if I start showing my material opulence, I started giving 1,000 crores. Oh, people, because they have some bad. Okay, they can give only 100 rupees. Oh, this man is giving 1,000. But okay, if he is doing only one agarbatti, that is devotion. If I am spending 10 hours, they will not compare. They will not compare between you. No, one agarbatti is sufficient. That deviation is enough. But when you show 100 rupees against 1,000 crores, they immediately compare. So for them, Krishna wanted to show. There will be some great personalities also. For them, he has demonstrated different opulence. That we'll see in other stories. So in that way, Krishna went all the way, and when Yudhishthira Maharaj received him, very happily he has received him, and he arranged, just imagine, if 16,000 wives are in different palaces, he cannot put all in one palace. So his Krishna's devotee used to be also equally powerful and equally opulent, and his whole interest is to show how much opulent he is, how much opulent his master is. So that was his idea. So that's why he arranged a great township he has created, where all the guests are accommodated, and Yudhishthira Maharaj made an everyday new recreation programs. New recreation, new feast, menu is changing, every time menu is changing, and so happy moment. So happy moment. And Draupadi came, Draupadi invited all the wives of Krishna. She met each and every 16,108. How much time it would have taken to Draupadi go and meet everybody? Just imagine the case. And so many children. If you just meet only wife, and even if you go, for example, if somebody goes, somebody comes to your home, or you go to somebody's house, and if he has some 2-3 daughters or children, you will go and ask about him or her, and don't inquire about children. Will she be all right? She'll be okay? No. So even if Draupadi go and inquire about one wife, she automatically has to inquire about 10 sons also, and 1 daughter. Just imagine how much time she would have spent with so much Krishna's. So anything with Krishna is always a mega task. Even if you want to inquire, mega task. Even if you want to serve, a mega task. Even if you want to smile, also mega task. You have to smile with so many millions of times. You have to smile. So it's the biggest challenge. So Krishna's act is always one person you can smile once. But automatically the smile comes. So that's why it is a ocean of bliss. Krishna means ocean of bliss. It goes like that. And then after, when Krishna came, the Yudhishthira Maharaj expressed his strong desire. He said that I want to show to the whole universe that you are Supreme Personality of God. That's why I want to perform the Rajasu Yajna. Thereby I want to spread your power, your Mahima, your glories. This is my desire. When he expressed this, Krishna felt very happy. Just imagine, like Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is Samadarshi. Samadarshi means his interest that Krishna should be known to everybody. Why only to India? Why only to India? Why Krishna should not be known to everybody in the whole world? Why Bhagavad Gita is only for Indians? Why not for whole universe? That is actually real Krishna Diva. Why Krishna Prasadam only for my family? Why not for whole universe? This is actually you are loving Krishna. So you taking Krishna, oh I am satisfied, I know Krishna. So that is not Krishna devotion. I know anyway, but I want to make people to know. That is real Krishna devotion. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj mentioned this, Krishna became very happy and he said, Tathastu, let it be so. That's it. When Krishna said Tathastu, and it is already done. Then he said that for this purpose, you have to conquer the people. You have to go and conquer the people, so many kings, and you have to arrange for the big yajna also. Then he ordered, by the advice of Krishna, Yudhishthira Maharaj ordered Sahadeva to go on the southern side to go and win, and he sent Nakula to the western side to go and win, and Arjuna to the northern side to go and win, and Bhima to the eastern side to go and win. So they all went to the four sides, and wherever they went, they defeated all the kings and brought unlimited opulences for performance of yajna. Because large amount of money was required, because he is inviting even Lord Shiva, Brahma and many things. Just imagine. And when everything has happened, one news came to know that they could win everywhere, but one person is still undefeated. He is Jarasandha. So Krishna anyway knows that story, and he Yudhishthira Maharaj became perturbed. Oh, still he is there, what to do? Then Krishna anyway, the advice was given, beginning itself by Uddhava. He said, he has to be dealt differently. So Krishna said, myself, Arjun and Bhim will go in the form of Brahmanas, because Jarasandha is a fond of Brahmanas and is a Brahmana Bhakta. So we'll go in the form of Brahmana only, and we'll take a vara, boon from him, and in that the boon would be a duel, a Dvandva Yuddha, and in that Bhima will kill him. That he has told plan, and Yudhishthira Maharaj became happy. And all the three, they changed their dresses and their attire, everything, into Brahmanas. And they went to Girivraja, the place of Jarasandha, and Brahmana, when he saw the Brahmana forms, he immediately invited. He was little doubtful, their body doesn't appear to be like Brahmana, but they are in the form of Brahmana, they are in shape of Brahmana. So he's invited. His mind was little doubtful, but still says, okay, let it be so, whatever it is. He's invited, and when he started speaking, he started sensing, this tone is also a little familiar. Because when Krishna is speaking, so he knows the tone. He said, this tone is also familiar, but he is not able to locate who is this. He felt that I have heard this tone somewhere. He was thinking like that. But anyway, they have come in the Brahmana form, so I have to honor. And finally, they discussed a lot of philosophy, and of course Krishna is intelligent to speak very nicely. He was convinced. Jarasandha was convinced. Oh, he told the highest philosophy. He was very convinced and said, oh, I am very much pleased. I am ready to give whatever you want. Even if you want, I can give my head. He just comes to that stage. When he has confirmed that he is ready to give head, at that time he told, we are Krishna, Arjuna and Bhima, and we have come to take a gift of fight. So we want you to award us a Dvandva Yuddha. So he was not very much stunned. He understood, okay, anyway, I was expecting something like this. Now the identities are disclosed. And he said that, oh, Krishna, already he ran away from my war. So there is no point in fighting with him. I will not fight with him. Arjuna is very small. Bhima is right person to fight with him. So both they felt. And they said that our fighting is going to be really fearsome. So let us go outside the town and take a very, very good place, big place, so that we can fight to our heart content. They all went out of the town, and very, very open land with some tents, etc. And they started fighting for 28 days. 28 days they started fighting. And whole day they used to fight, and in the evening they used to spend like a friends. So because he was a fond of Brahmanas, and so he is having dharma. This Jarasandha was having a dharmic nature. So in the night time they used to all discuss like a friend, but in the morning again they fight. So 28 days it happened, and at the 28th day Bhima said it is difficult to really win Jarasandha. Then at that time Krishna, because Krishna is the protector of Pandavas and devotees all the time. So then he has declared the Janma Rahasya, the secret of his birth, and said that the Jarasandha was originally born as a two half parts to his mother, and two half parts are joined by a witch called Jara. That's why it's become Jarasandha. So you just separate both the parts and he will be dead. And he has shown, and he has given a special power also. Krishna has given him special power. And when Bhima understood this point, he knocked him down and put his leg on his leg, and with the two hands he caught hold of other leg and he got him separated from bottom to top. And it has become, Jarasandha has become one hand, one leg, one hand, half stomach, like that. Two parts. And he got dead. And when he was dead, all the people became stunned. And Krishna ensured that Jarasandha's son, Sahadeva, has become the next king. And after that, he ensured that through Sahadeva only, he got released all the kings who are captured by Jarasandha. All the kings who are there, actually they have sent a message to Krishna. Oh Krishna, please save us because we are all captured by Jarasandha. So they were very hopeful because at that time the messenger went and told them that yes, Krishna said that he is going to come and you will be released. And they were waiting for that wonderful moment. So when they all released, they all became so weak and they were not even change their clothes. They were very dirty clothes. They have become weak. They are not shaven. And Krishna ensured that they all prayed to Krishna and they were very happy. And they asked for a boon that in the process of ruling our countries or our states, we have really forgotten your devotional service. So now that we understood the miseries in their life, we want to remember your lotus feet forever. Please bless us. Then Krishna has given the blessings that they will get a unflinching faith, unflinching devotion towards Krishna. And he suggested that in this material world, the common, you will get sometimes happiness, sometimes distress, sometimes success, etc., etc. And if the birth and death, these are common. So while getting affected this also, you should remember me, and that is the process, and you concentrate all your thoughts on me. And try to, in this consciousness, try to rule your citizens. In that way, Krishna advised, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned, Gruhe thako, vane thako, sada hari bole dako, sukhe dukhe bole nako. Is that whether you are a gruhastha or whether you are a sannyasi, whether you are in distress, whether you are in pleasure, never forget Krishna, sum and substance. So fortunately, for example, a whole world is under tension, but we are engaged in hearing Krishna Katha and remembering and feeling the bliss. And in this process, not only we are ensuring our safety, our enjoyment, our future, also we are invoking the great auspiciousness. In this process, we are invoking greatest auspiciousness all over the world. And we expect and we are sure that our lives will be many more multiplied times very happy, will be more devoted, and will become more serious about Krishna consciousness. We see that, for example, now we are understanding what is called yoga. Now we understand what is meant by separation. For example, for several 30 days, 40 days, we have no darshan of Madan Mohan. But when Madan Mohan is constantly available, we don't go. For example, before Janmashtami, we see that the Jhulan Yatra festival comes. It comes once in a year for 5 days, and every day 1.5 hours from 7:30 to 9. We see hardly any people. Just imagine, the Lord is waiting for people, but nobody is there. Now we are waiting for the Lord, He is not giving. Then we will understand at this point of time. That is, Lord's darshan is how much auspicious, how much rare. I am sure that post-Corona is going to be our devotional mode will reach to there will be a big spike, and all over the world people will be interested in God, people will be interested in work, people will be interested in good relation, people will be interested in our ancient culture. Great changes are going to come. So it is advised by Krishna that while withstanding with all these dualities, please remember me and rule. So in that way, and afterwards ensure, because Jarasandha made he made all the kings to suffer. So that's why Krishna ensured by his son he made all the kings to get son, so that at least they will eliminate the grudge from the heart, because when Jarasandha's son is serving, all the kings will shed their grudge or anger towards Jarasandha. And then afterwards everybody is given good shave, good dress and good opulences, and given the vehicle arrangements so that they will go to their different kingdoms. When all these people, they went to their different countries and narrated the great power of Krishna, and all people came to know how great the Supreme Lord is, and how powerful he is, and how merciful he is, and everybody became Krishna conscious. Then afterwards Krishna along with Arjuna and Bhimasena came back to Indraprastha and told the victory news is given to Yudhishthira that we have won Jarasandha. Jarasandha is dead. And Krishna knows, Yudhishthira knows very well that the reason for victory is only Krishna. So without Krishna, victory cannot come. He knows very well. And when he heard about the victory, he became more attached to Krishna and started floating in the mood of pure love. So similarly, when the devotees, a common man, a devotee, so for example, tomorrow we see that the corona is completely smashed and everybody is happy, then we know that because it is Krishna only did. So our devotion and our attachment to Krishna just gets multiplied. So same Yudhishthira Maharaj also, when he came that yes, he is dead, then his attachment went much higher. To speak, no word speak, and with all happiness he kept silent. And he felt very happy that he is gone, and under Krishna's supervision the Rajasuya Yajna will happen perfectly and become very confident. So this brings to the conclusion of the third story.